Live from the Cactus Creek at Ibri, he is the king of prime time, Ghana's undisputed entertainment laureate, and still the youngest old man in Ghana. Put your hands together, show some love for the indefatigable KSM.
The KSM Show.
Hello, we're back, and I'm excited. You know, these days I'm either doing sports or politics, so show me some love, man. But today I'm going back to sports, man, because, you know, Ghanaians there, you can't go wrong. When you want to make a Ghanaian happy, talk sports, talk politics, hey, occasional entertainment. But they said I'm focused on sports a bit. And I had the fun talking to Dan Kwekuyeboa. Guess who I'm talking to today? This guy is amazing. I believe in 2018, he was a GJA Sports Writer of the Year, man. And in 2021, the Ghana Writers Association made him the Sports Writer of the Year. Who am I talking about? This is a great guy, man. I'm sure you know him. We're going to have a great chat. But in the meantime, put your hands together. Show some love for my good friend, Saddick Adams Obama. Hey! Boom. Hey, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Wow.
It's a big pleasure to be here.
Wow. The pleasure is mine.
No, it's mine.
Please welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now we're going to find out whose pleasure it is. I think it's mine. But we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, I'm telling you, call everybody you know in sports that today, my man is in the house. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
The KSM Show.
My name is Reverend Dr. N.S. Adijemfi, the Chairman of the National Peace Council. I encourage you to watch KSM and you will be educated. Stay blessed.
Thank you. You're back, and I'm very, very excited about this show because I have so many questions to ask him, and you know why very soon. Massa, welcome to the show again, man. Good to have you.
Good to see you. You are growing younger.
Really?
How? Let me be the interviewer here. How long have you been doing this?
I think 21 years will be this year.
Wow.
How young were you when you started watching?
10.
and today you are my guest.
It's incredible to be here. I've been watching for. I used to be in Sunyane, and Fridays were days when I get back home and prepare and sit down and say I'm coming to watch KSM show.
Wow.
And thank God it's Friday. You sit down, and then my favorite segment was the Three Wise Men.
Oh, the Three Wise Men.
They never got anything right.
Elisha, what do you call someone who comes from France?
Someone who comes from France. It's called Monsieur.
What do you call someone who comes from France?
they call him French man.
Dabo, what do you call someone who comes from France?
Someone who comes from France. Someone who comes from France can call Francis.
Show up for the three wise men, man. We're going to bring them back soon. Wow. Oh, wow, great.
Right.
Well, it's good to have you, you
Good
know.
to see
and I
you.
keep saying this, you know, of late, all my guests are people from your generation
Right.
who have grown up and caught up with me.
Yes.
And now you are my guest.
And we look the same.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It's
my pleasure.
incredible to be here.
Yeah.
I never imagined that I would sit down with KSM on the KSM show. I
Really?
never imagined.
Well, you are here today.
I'm
Show us
here.
your love one more time. You're here today. So there's so many things I want to ask, but I want to start with this one. Very, very, like almost the first question.
Yeah.
Because I know that Sudan
Yes.
came to play in Ghana with Kwesi Appiah
Yeah.
and everything. But I listened to something you said,
Yes.
and you said that you think that Sudan deliberately didn't want to score Ghana, and it was intentional. Was that your argument?
Not intentional, but that was a strategy.
Oh, that was a
Yeah,
strategy.
you can. It will be intentional in the sense of ordinary person speaking about sports, but as a sports journalist, I think the strategy was that they should come to Ghana and not try to beat Ghana. The strategy is to get a draw, and they got it because I found out that the games I've watched of Sudan, they were very open, they were very offensive, traveling away. Kwesi Appiah's team has been set up to score goals, even playing away on away grounds. But the way and manner they played in Ghana baffled me because they got to the opposition area and decided to come back. They were not even shooting at goal. So as a sports journalist, I was just concluding that if they were eager to beat Ghana in
They could
Accra,
have.
They could have. And
So
we saw that.
strategically, what was there to gain not being in Ghana? Is it because Kwesi Appiah is from Ghana? I didn't want to. What could have been the reason?
I don't know what influenced Kwesi, but perhaps he knew that he could beat Ghana in the return leg, so there was no need beating them twice.
Really?
What if they die? He knew he could beat Ghana.
Really?
Yeah, after the first half, he clearly knew that we will have opportunities, but even if we score, they could score. So their strategy was to get a point here, and he mapped that very well and got it. And I knew when I said that people disagreed, that
Yeah, a
what
lot.
is Sudan, saying that Sudan strategically came to Ghana to play for a draw and they could have beaten Ghana. We saw them in the return leg. They had chances across board, and they could have beaten Ghana by 4 goals. So it means that what I observed in the first game was actually the truth, because they strategized to come to Ghana, not to beat us, maybe out of respect, like I would say. Kwesi Appiah had for Ghana not to beat his home country in Accra, to destabilize. Already there is a whole lot of pressure and chaos in the country. So
He didn't want to add to
you
it.
just get the draw and come back to my home ground. And they did actually that in Libya.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you start feeling that, oh, Sudan is giving this game away? Did you see that right from the start, or after they had missed a few good opportunities, you decided, no, they are just here to...
After the first half, they got an opportunity at the end of the first half, and the striker decided, instead of passing, decided to shoot. He shot very wayward, and it seemed like a team that was content with what they were having. That was when I settled that they will not beat us here, but they will beat us in their home ground. And I knew that they will beat us because I watched them against Angola, I watched them against Niger, I watched them against DR Congo, 90 minutes of football. And I was quite resolved that this is not a Sudanese side we could beat. Yeah. Yes.
So I was reading the comments when you made those statements,
Yeah.
the backlash, people were saying
Yes,
that
yeah.
you're not being fair to the Black Stars because they really delivered.
Yes.
Is it because they don't know the Black Star? What was it about you that...
People normally, in sports, you perform according to the strength of your opponents. So you deliver based on how your opponent fared on the field. So when they say the Black Stars performed well, they meant that they saw the chances the Black Stars had. But you are not looking at the strength and effort of the opposition. If the opposition had performed above the weight they did, the Black Stars would not have done well. You will score, but they will score 2. You will score 3, they will score 4. So it means that you do well based on the strength of your opponent. If you are going into a boxing ring and your opponent is a, feeble opponent, you will come out doing well. If it's a strong opponent, you will come out, even if it is victory, it will be a Pyrrhic victory. So at the end of the day, people will watch you and see per the bruises on your face, your opponent was stronger. So the Black Stars did not do well here. The Sudanese decided not to do well.
I see.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
The Black Stars didn't do well.
Yes.
The Sudanese decided we won't do
They
well.
decided to play below their strength.
Wow.
Yes.
Would that have been an instruction from the coach that
It could
make sure
be
you don't win?
Not make sure you don't win, but the coach may have mapped a strategy that we need a draw from this game. Coaches do that because they know they can get. So they will say we need a draw from this game because if the Black Stars come up, they may punish us. So instead of getting a humiliation, let's go for a draw. And that's a strategy you map. And any coach who maps a strategy goes into a game to get the results they want is a good coach. Yes.
Wow. Very, very interesting analysis.
Yeah, that's my observation from those two
Wow.
games. Yeah.
Wow. Your other observation too that I found very intriguing. You actually quoted the vice president. Economically, the vice president said if the fundamentals are weak,
Yes.
the exchange rate will expose you. And I heard you saying that
Yes.
in football,
Yes.
when the fundamentals are weak,
Yes.
the Black Stars will expose you.
Definitely. That's it. The Black Stars is the roof when you build. That is it's either the facade or the roof. That's what everybody see globally. So if your foundation or fundamentals of the building is weak, the Black Stars will expose you. They may not expose you perhaps in the beginning, but when it gets to the global stage, that's where it explodes. So I knew that we were getting that. I started, this sound call, alarm, 5 or 6 years ago, that we may get to a time where the Black Stars
You saw that 5 years ago?
Yeah, 5 people who watch my shows know that I was not being a prophet of doom, but I clearly knew that the foundation had become very weak and nobody was interested in building. You build from the foundation. So we are at the lowest point of our football in the last 20 years.
The lowest point?
The lowest point. We have never gotten here in the last 20 years.
Wow.
Yes, not the Black Stars alone. All the other football indices, the local league, the under 17, under 20, Olympic team, women's football. This is the lowest. All these indices are down, flat. So when I saw the Black Stars were doing well then, creditably, but when I saw the performance of the other fundamentals, being the under 17, under 20, under 23, I knew that a day will come when Ghana will struggle to beat Comoros. Ghana will struggle to beat Sudan. These were teams that we were beating 4-0 away, 6-0 home, 10 aggregate. And now we are struggling to secure a draw. So the fundamentals are actually weak.
What exactly about the fundamentals that are so weak that is causing such a decline?
I believe that we have become people who are interested in quick results. We are having leaders who do not actually think about building a foundation or legacy. We are having leaders who want to borrow money, show off that we have done this. Even if it collapses in the next 2 years, we are okay. That's what we have become, because the fundamentals of football are having a solid grassroots. When we say grassroots, under 12, under 13, under 15, people do not know that Michael Essien, Lai Kingston, John Mensah, in the days of no technology, they played for Ghana's under 12.
Oh, really?
And in 1999, Michael Essien, Lai Kingston, John Mensah, and co., they beat Guinea by 9-1 in Ghana. Ghana under 12. So Michael Essien started playing for Ghana when he was 12 years. And that is the exposure. So you build the patriotism from there. He knows that he's gone through the Ghanaian male, under 12, under 15, under 17. Then he went to under 20 in 2001 in Argentina with Razak Pimpon, John Pinstel, Razak Ibrahim, Adukwe Papu, John Mensah, Derek Boateng. This was the team that played for Ghana, qualified for our first World Cup, played for 14 years solid. So you have a foundation that you imbibed the culture of Ghana from under 12. So when they get to the World Cup in Germany, it will not be a new field for them. What we are failing to do now is that we wait, no fundamentals, no under 15, no under 17. When a player comes up in Belgium who has a Ghanaian name, Jerome Opoku, then we sit on business flight with 3 delegations to go and get that player to naturalize for Ghana. There is a player in Turkey. His name is Samson Ajay. There is a Ghanaian surname. Let's chase him. And we put them together in 2 weeks and think that this policy can defeat the policy of our forefathers who built, Nkrumah built the first grassroots team when the whole of Africa had not thought about building a grassroots. It used to be national team. So Sudan will have their national team like Black Stars. Then Nkrumah thought that if this Black Stars team begins to fade, where will we get players to feed them? So he built a new horizon, Nkrumah. Those days, he had a team when the whole world had not started playing in under 17. He had that idea. So Osei Kofi and Co were players of the new horizon. When the Black Star players are weaker and growing older, then under 17 player will slot in. We have abandoned that policy and now chasing after people who have been born in England, Sweden, Germany, Spain. Quick way of fixing a problem. And when they come, they appear like fish out of water. They don't even know Ghana as a country in the first place. They don't understand the culture of Ghana. When people are angry that Ghana has not beaten Uganda by 2-0, they don't feel it because they have not stayed here. This is why we are here today.
Mostly we are foreign. They have come in as foreigners.
They are
basically.
foreigners. They have not just come in. They are foreigners. They only have Ghanaian surnames. But they have to get the culture. When you have a player who is 25 years, that is not where you teach the player.
What wisdom went to that change, into changing from grooming them from very, very early childhood, not childhood, but youthful days, to just trying to pick from outside? What changed it?
I think, to me, 2 reasons. One, people have become more interested in money, just the money, and not the legacy. Yes, because to build an under 17 team, we have people who are honest. They want to see that we have planted and we are reaping. We have leaders who want to reap and not plant. So they want to get money and fame with the Black Stars playing, but they don't want to plant. So we have shifted from this fundamental implantation of football culture to now getting new players into the team, because people don't want to work. They don't want to get involved in the actual work. Mbappe started playing for France when he was 8. No Ghanaian player now can say he's been scouted when he was 7. Our authorities are just trying to sell them.
He was 8.
He was 8. Kante and Co. They were picked when they were 9. Even Inaki Williams, who came to play for Ghana, he was scouted by Spain when he was 7. So you see that those people have come back to pick the policies and ideas that we used to. And now, those players that they reject, so they will get to the point and England will reject a player. They don't want him in their national team, even though they have trained him from under 10. Then we will go for that player. He's an English player. He will play the English style of football. You can't change him at that level. And you don't want him to play an English style of football. You want him to play a Ghanaian style, but you don't want to work. So the love for money and also laziness, also purely incompetence, of course.
I've heard you in discussions saying that you can say with confidence that 90% of the players are in there for the money?
Not the players, the officials.
The officials?
Yeah, the players have money. All of them have money.
So 90% of the officials?
Yes.
Is a business.
Those I've spoken to, you clearly can see, they say A and do B. So I can confidently say, I've been in football for sports journalism for 18 years now, and I can say that those who are there currently, majority of them are there because of money. They just want to make money out of the game, not because they want to build. That's what I observe, and honestly, you clearly can see the result from the actions.
How long is this going to continue? And in the meantime, how is that affecting the quality of our football?
Well, you may not love football, but people who watch the show will know. They will say, I don't remember the last time I went to the stadium to watch Kotoko House.
Wow.
It gets to the point that Kotoko and House of Folk will be playing at the Accra Sports Stadium, and there will be people resting on their tombs at the Osu Cemetery. They don't even want to go to the stadium. Wow. I drive by and I see people there. They don't know that Kotoko and House of Folk are playing with technology, with TV, radio, that can disseminate information. Those days when there was only one radio, GBC, the stadium will be full by 11 a.m. So all the fundamentals, and it will continue because we don't have the leaders who want to put in the work. We have sunk over $100 million in football from FIFA, from GFA, and we don't see results. So actually we will stay on this lane for a long time until we get a leader who is honest enough to build from the foundation. We need to rebuild. It needs a complete rebuilding. We need to restart. At this point, the trees are on trees. We have to remove the topmost trees and start from the ground. Any other thing they do is to paint the roof and pretend that the foundation is strong. Yes.
So is it worth it having a national team that you know is quote unquote dysfunctional? Is it worth it? Or are you talking?
Well, not worth for the fans, worth for the people who are leading the team. They go to the World Cup and the officials are each paid $100,000 for following the national team. A sacrificial job, they say. How many sacrificial jobs in Ghana pay $100,000?
It's a beautiful sacrificial job, you know.
Beautiful, sir. Stay in top 5-star hotel, get fed by FIFA and government, and at the end of the day, whether the national team performs or not, you get paid $100,000. So it's not in the interest of the nation. It is not worth it that the national team is in this state. But for the people who are around the team, yeah, they benefit from the rots. Yeah.
So if you were, for example, chosen as a consultant,
yeah,
to fix the fundamentals,
yes,
what are the first three things you would do?
One, I'll go back to the basics. What made us a super football nation? I'll go to Winneba Sports College and invest money there. The government should be investing money at Winneba Sports College. That is where we used to train all the top footballers and athletes in Ghana. So the government will send people around with the collaboration of the GFA. During the under 15, under 17, or inter-schools, pick the best players from Wa, Winneba, Boko, Paga. They are 12 years. Put them at the Winneba Sports College. It's a school. They learn education and they learn football. So they only play. They come to school the next day, 4 p.m. they go to train. By the time they are 16, they have played for 2 years together. Then you bring them to the under 17. So you invest in whenever you invest in Ghana Soccer School of Excellence. Then the second one is to invest in your local league. The success of every football association in the world rests in the strength of their local league. That is the core function of the football association. They have abandoned it and now resting on the Black Stars success or the fame of the Black Stars. So the local league needs to be strong. The infrastructure, stadium, people want to watch quality football on TV. You switch to watch the Ghana League, you switch to watch Tanzanian League, and the difference looks like Ghana is still in 1960.
Really?
Yes. So people don't even watch the league. It's a sham of a league. So infrastructure, then I come to the league and also go back to the base where I can bring in 100 footballers to Winneba, 100 young footballers to Pram Pram. They keep playing amongst themselves. So I start from those days when ACN and Co played in under 12. So when I invite KSM, Ghana under 15 is playing against Uganda under 15 at Accra Sports Stadium. Come and watch. They are young. You watch them and they become household names then. I saw...
From the age of 15?
15. I saw Suleiman Tari when he was driven off from Kumasi Stadium. After playing for Okes, he was brought to the national team camp straight.
Wow.
So you build him from when he was 15. So when he plays for Ghana for 10 years, it is not out of luck. There has been a plan. That's why you do.
Wow. Wow. So say you wanted to go back to these things. How much of a gestation period are you allowing yourself to really groom these players? And in the meantime,
yes,
what happens to the Black Stars? What happened to soccer?
Well, so a bit of education will come in here. Let people know that we have gone down. It's not people letting them know. The graph is there. We are flat now. So people know that we can't beat Sudan, we can't beat Comoros, we can't beat Niger, Madagascar. So we are restarting. Then you start the process from 15 years. A footballer's peak period is 25 years, 24, 25. So when Germany started, they had a 10-year period. Their national team went down. Then they started this same level of investment and policy. By the 9th year, they won the World Cup. So it was a 10-year development plan. By the 9th year, they won. So they had a plan that's Agenda 2014, and they won.
Wow.
Argentina, Uruguay, England, they went down flat. Then they started. They've gone to the World Cup semi-final. They've gone to Euro final twice. They may not win it, but the agenda is there. So the gestation period for me, all these countries do not have talent than Ghana. If you look at the talent base in Ghana, we are only scratching the surface.
Really?
So if we start, I'm sure that our maturity period will be 5 years. Ghana can win the AFCON within 5 years.
Really?
With a proper policy like this. If we are focused and not chasing money, 5-6 years we will win the AFCON. We will get to World Cup semi-final or final.
In 5 years?
In 5 years.
So this people who are in places of authority now,
Yes.
you know, we have the Ministry of Sports, you have the GFA. What's up with them? Is that they don't communicate to build what you're talking about?
That's one of the biggest challenges I have. I think the whole problem starts with the ministry and the National Sports Authority. That is the body mandated to promote sports. Clearly, they don't know.
What is the ministry doing wrong?
Policy. They are supposed to draw the policy for all the national teams, or they implement the policy. The policy is drawn by the NSA. The ministry approves. Then it's spread across football, boxing, badminton, all. But I have not seen a proper policy. The ministry started with school sports. They abandoned it for 2-3 seasons. They have not done that. Because everybody wants to follow the Black Stars. Everybody wants to follow the Black Stars to AFCON. But the work is at the base. So the ministry, the NSA, what they are not doing right is that they themselves clearly do not know what they are doing. So they cannot enforce the other federations like GFA.
That's a serious charge. They don't know what they're doing?
Actually, I have not seen the last, let's say, 10 years or so.
Wow.
I don't know a practical policy that I can drive and say, I'm going to Northern Region. The Ministry of Sports is investing in a youth camp there for national team. So I'm going to watch the players who I can see in the next 10 years. I don't know. They don't have. That is what I believe in. It doesn't mean that my policy is right.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
but that's
that is what we have used in the past. We just need to revisit. We are not even training coaches. But you can't have a good school without good teachers. So when we had, when we had the first English coach, George Ainsley, who took Ghana in '56, Nkrumah said the black man can manage our affairs. So we are sending 6 coaches to Germany. That was the best soccer school or best sports university in the world, Cologne. Nkrumah sent Ghanaians there when they were playing, send them stipends, train in the best sports university and come back, medicine, coaching, administrative. He sent all. By the time they came back in 2 years, they led the national team. The coach who was trained won the AFCON for 3 times. The other 4 that he did not win, the person who won, he trained him. So this is a policy. You impart it, invest in the most important parts. Look at what we are investing in now. We got $50 million, and by the 4-5 years, they say we have dug 7 boreholes. $50 million. We get $100,000. We give it to one person who has followed the national team and said he was doing that for sacrificial purposes. You can't invest in these areas and expect that you have a strong national team. Yes.
So in a sentence, what's the future of the national team as we have now?
It will continue to be like this for years. I have not seen any pragmatism. Yes. So until we see a profound solution and honest, you may have the solution like campaign promises, but if you are not honest, the promise is nothing. So honest leadership and then a profound practical solution that everybody will observe that this is what we want to do. I am interested in inter-schools. When you start from inter-schools, and then you can follow the trajectory of the sports people, young people, you take them to university, you invest in them, you take them to the best training centers. In 5 years, when they are playing, you are not the one to tell them they need to be patriotic. They know you have invested in them. That is why Mbappe will take his World Cup bonus and donate to French people. Not because he doesn't have responsibility, but he knows that since he was 6, it is France that has invested in his career and education. You don't need to pay me for playing. But our people, it's become pay as you go, because they struggle throughout life. When he moves from Techiman to Accra, Italy, then he gets a team and you go and call him. He will take money before, because you have not invested in any portion or segment of his life. So you can't be feeding him with patriotism when you yourself, you are not patriotic. That's what we have become.
Show some love, man. We are right here with Saddick. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, there's more to talk about. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
The KSM Show.
Hi, my name is Dan Kwekwe, head of sports despite media. This is KSM Show, legendary KSM. You know, when it comes to stand-up comedy, I say so keep tuned in and enjoy the show all the time. KSM Show is the best in town. Thank you.
We're back, and I'm hanging out with my man Saddick, and we're talking sports, we're talking black sex, we're talking everything. And you have no idea the amount of education I'm getting just by listening to you.
Really?
You know? Yes! I kid you not, you know.
Thank you very
In terms
much.
of, even when we look at football, we should think, what fundamentals are we building to support it?
Exactly.
Which, in your view, nothing is being done.
Non-existent. Non-existent. So I always say, across board, in football, when a national team gets to the point where the Black Stars, they've played for some years and they've become lethargic, they are not winning games, there's no hunger. There is one solution that you fall on. So all countries will have that solution. If your national team gets to that point, what you do is that you face majority of them off. Those without hunger, maybe they've played, they are tired. So then you bring in the under 20.
Okay.
That is one solution. The second solution, which is exclusive to Africa, is that you bring in the under 20. If you don't have under 20, you rely on your local players. In Europe, their domestic players are the ones who play in their national team, so they don't have that solution. We have two. You rely on your domestic league players, or you rely on your under 20. So in 2009, when our national team got to the point where majority of the players were tired, they were reluctant to come for the Black Stars call-up. What the coach did, Milovan Rajevac did, was that 60% of the players, 60 to 80, were shipped off. They brought in 6-7 players from the under-20 World Cup winning team. That's when we got Andre Ayew. We got Kwadwo Asamoah. We got Rabiu Mohammed. We got Samuel Inkum. We got a whole lot of them from under-20. That is when we did well in the World Cup. We had a strong under-20 to rely on. Those days when we didn't have players in Europe, the coaches will rely on Kwesi Appiah, Kotoko, Safu Jamfi, Kotoko, Abladi Kuma, Hasselhoff, Shamokwe, Hasselhoff, Joe Deb, they go to Ashgold. They find one in Okou, they build a strong team. Tony Yeboah was at Okou. Now we don't have all the two solutions. So the Black Stars is not good. But you don't have plan A is not there, plan B is not there. The foundations. That's the trouble we are in. Now we don't have a strong under-20. So Kwadwo Asamoah and Samuel Inkum, Rabiu and co. When the Black Stars started falling off, they look back and say, oh, the Ayew is there. The kind of football is playing under-20. He can play for Black Stars. When they brought them, we were a penalty kick away from the semi-finals of the World Cup. That's what you do. Now we don't have all the two. If you bring the local league players now, the Sudan players who played were predominantly local players.
Really?
Those who beat Kudus and Co. But if we bring our local players, I can promise you that you will stop watching after the first half. Not trying to downplay their capacity, but the training and the kind of pitches they play on here, the exposure. Sudan may beat them by 3-1. 3 goals in the first half and 3 in the second half. So our local league is completely down, and the under-20, under-17 is down. So if you want to know the future, this is the two solutions that we could have relied on. We don't have that now. So we have to make do with the shaky, rickety Black Stars. Yeah.
Let's look back. When was the era Black Stars were Black Stars? They were winning match after match after match.
Yeah.
Take us to those days.
In history, I have seen the first national team in the world to have gone to a particular continental tournament 4 times final was Black Stars. In the world, not in Africa.
Really?
1963, 1965, 1968, 1970, AFCON final. It's never happened in the world before. No continent that a national team has gone to final 4 times consecutively. So when they get to the final and they don't win, in 1970, the players arrived at the Accra airport and they were hiding.
Wow.
They got to the final, they couldn't win.
They couldn't win.
They were hiding because they become used to winning. Now, we moved from there to the 80s, 81, 82, 83. That's when we won the AFCON in 82. Abedi Pele was 15 years, 16, he was introduced. Kwesi Appiah was 17, he was introduced. So we have gone back. Abedi Pele was the best coast player. Ghana, young players, under 15 players. He was the best in 1980. And we voted him. So you could see where the plan was. Now, I don't know where coast players are. And he was brought into the Black Stars. He was part of the team that won the AFCON in 82. So those was the second period. The third period was in AFCON 92. We had a very strong team. Abedi's red card against Nigeria meant that we could not beat Ivory Coast, Alangwame in the final. The penalties that Tony Bafo missed. We had that third one. The strongest team we've ever produced in recent times was the team that played from 2005 to 2014. So that's 9 years, 10 years. And that team was built in 1999, 2000. We started building that team in 99, 2000. They played 18 games, unbeaten. The whole world, they were ranked 14th. That's the best we have ever gotten to. Out of 202 countries, they were ranked 14th.
Wow.
We are now 73rd. We may be digging oil very soon, Galamsey. We are descending from 14th. We are now 73rd. They were the first in Africa for 7 consecutive months. Best team in Africa. Now I think we are 14th in Africa. We are not even in the top 10.
So who was in the helm of affairs then? Who was driving this success story?
Well, two issues. The team was built before by Ben Kofi. He had a plan. Samadi and Co, they had plans. So you could see from 95, 96, we were having young players together, put them together. Then Kwesi Nyantakyi came in. Then he changed the air around the team. There was a new aura. So he picked the team that was built from 2000, that matured in 2004-05. And then success started, bringing in coaches. And I would say that President Kufuor did an incredible job. I went to his house some time back, and the stories I heard, the players then, Sami Kufuor and co would tell me, you can literally walk to the house of the president and tell him your issue. He was calling players.
Wow.
Listen to your coach. What do you need? So the investment, he spoke to the mining firm in the country to invest in the national team. So the investment was, you could see leadership that this is what we want to do with our national team. So from Nkrumah, I think the next president who used the Black Stars as a political tool was President Kufuor. The investment and Kwesi Nyantakyi's leadership then, before he turned the other way. And then we brought in coaches. And so the three issues were that we had a solid team that we had built. It matured when Kwesi Nyantakyi took over. He branded the Black Stars. The president then had an interest. All the players who played, Sami Kufuor, Stephen Appiah, they will tell you the influence of President Kufuor on the Black Stars, leading to our qualification the first time to the World Cup.
So exerted his personal influence on the team.
He had an influence. So the players will be playing, having at the back of their mind that the president is watching.
Wow.
Yes.
And that made a difference.
It made a lot of difference. That GFA president then, Kwesi Nyantakyi, the team that we have built, right appointment of coaches sometime, and I would say the investment from the political head of the country. Because I read from Nkrumah that he didn't have a sports minister. The sports minister was from his office, was to report directly, or Hinija was to report directly
to Nkrumah?
Because Nkrumah used football to advance his political legacy. Those days when there was no national team, Ghana was flying to Russia. We had branded suits for the national team then in 1959-60. We were playing against USSR, and Africa learned that football can become a tool. They were camping in Brazil. They were camping in countries that Nkrumah aligned with. And when the exposure came, so that sense of being an African, we can play Russia and beat them, was imbibed in them because the president told them, you can do it. So there was no inferiority complex. Ghana has beaten USSR in football. Why can't we beat them in other fields? And then came Kufuor.
Wow.
Now, everything is lost.
I'm tempted at this point to divert small and ask, but where did you learn so much about sports? You are talking about things that were happening when you were not born. What do you I mean, where's the passion from that compelled you to do such amazing history? Because the dates, the names, everything is so spot on.
Yeah.
And what compelled you?
I've lived all my life learning sports and being interested in sports all my life. So from primary school.
Why?
I just decided I loved. So I wanted to play football. And I was told that I should concentrate on education. My coach was honest, told me that no, concentrate. So when I'm not playing, I'm reporting. Even when I was like 12 years, I'll be on the touchline, commentary, then be reporting to the coach. I went to the university being the sports commissioner. I went to primary school being a sports reporter. So in 2001, 2002, I was reporting from the Kumasi Stadium. That's why I can tell you about when Sule Muntari was brought to Accra. I heard on radio. So I have been following, not just reading. In Nkrumah's days, and I read, I go to countries and they tell me about what the Black Stars did there in 55. I put it down. So I do a lot of documentaries about our ex-footballers and all that. So I have become part of it, not just by reading, but it's my passion. So I can't go a day without.
It is your passion. I mean,
it's my passion. I can't go a day without reading something about sports or wanting to know something about.
Let me just throw this thing at you. Say you are made a sports minister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think I can be a sports minister?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
I think you are the kind of people that should be handling things. Unfortunately, whatever reasons people may have, fine.
Yes.
But somebody who is this knowledgeable, whose passion has been to follow sports and reporting on the since 12 years old,
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
is naturally qualified. What would you do as sports minister differently? What would be your first 3 things that you do to
The first 3 things I would do is to change the composition of the National Sports Authority. This is not something that anybody cares. They just want to see the Black Stars win. But this is where the problem is.
the National Sports Authority?
There is an act, so it was promulgated, SMC decree to run sports. Then we came into independence and we changed this. We have a Sports Act and we have the NSA. It is the body that the whole country says they should have the experts to run sports. Do they, at this moment, do they have people? They don't have. They are the body mandated to check all national edifices.
How do you get into there? How do you become?
It's become political appointment. So my first advice to the president as a sports minister is that we may politicize any office, any other. You can do it with GMPC, do it any other office.
But don't touch sports.
Let somebody with the expertise head the National Sports Authority. And the act should mandate that we should repeal, or we should be able to amend that the National Sports Authority head should not be changed by political transitioning. It should be a man who can drive to our sports stadium and see that when I came here in 2012, this was the level. It's deteriorating, so we need to sack the person there. If you bring somebody in 2008 because the government has changed, he leaves in 2016, another person comes, he doesn't even know what sports stadium. The reason why we have 11 national stadia, and by 2024, all of them were not qualified to host international matches, and we have a head.
Wow.
We should have some people with, they don't know, but I have seen that my problem with organization of sports in this country is the National Sports Authority. They have the mandate, clothed with power, legislation to run sports. They should be telling the GFA what to do. So before the GFA president comes, there is a policy for Ghana to train our people, not your policy. Athletics, there is a policy there. Boxing, this is what the country is driving in the next 10 years. Fall in or fall out. But if boxing president comes and the NSA doesn't have a policy, he brings his people, they do what they want. GFA, he brings his people, they do what they, even the appointment, I think that to run a country, to run any office, you have become successful all these years because you have qualified people in position. When they wrong you, you know that, no, this boy is very qualified. I need to find a way to let him stay. We don't have qualified people. Political appointment for National Sports Authority. The previous one who left was a biochemist. Very good professor in his field, lecturer at UST, but he was completely green in the field.
Sports, yeah.
So you may say he's incompetent in that office, but he's competent somewhere. But they had to put him there because he was a political appointee. Even when he was failing, all our national stadia completely rotten. Ghana, we were on the brink of being sent to Togo to play a home game.
Really?
That is the level we got to.
Playing at home in Togo?
We did not have a qualified stadium, a stadium to meet category C requirements. But we have people, so we should go to the act, the Sports Act, and check which body is mandated to run sports. Are they doing it? My first advice to the president will be appoint a qualified person. He will bring the policy to the minister. If I were the minister, then we drive it together. All the federations, GFA, boxing, athletics, table tennis, they will fall in what the country wants to drive at.
So whose interest is it in not to pay that detailed attention to sports? Why would you just throw anybody out there, and for what? Who benefits from that? When the nation is obviously hurting from such decisions?
This is a question I'll have to ask KSM. Because why do people appoint people who are incompetent clearly in offices and think that because you have shared position, you didn't get some, you deserve here, whether you destroy it or not? Because in your own company, you will not appoint somebody not qualified as your accountant. But the country there, you have shared position. Hey, this guy is in Tamale. We haven't gotten a position for him. What is left? Then we look on chess. We play chess on the sports minister. sports authority, put someone there. Let's balance it so that his people know that they also have a minister. Whether the person is qualified, has a knowledge or not, I think that before you come into any office, you should have at least have some sort of relationship with that office before.
Yeah.
That's my position. You may be green, but if you want to contest for or you want to be appointed as a banker, you should have at least, the least you'll be being a customer of a bank.
Yes.
If you don't have an account
Yes.
in your life and they appoint you to you starting from ground zero. By the time you are exposed, everything is done. Yes.
Wow, that's deep. Show some love, man. Wow. Now, and just sitting from outside and listening in, you know, I hear lots of like complaints, like, and I don't know why, but they will point out names like Ket Kreku. Is it Okreku or Kreku?
The GFA president.
The GFA president.
Yes.
As part of the problem? Is that how you see things?
Yeah, he's the president of the Football Association. It is external that we have seen the decline, so you can't absolve him from the blame, actually. He came in and I supported his candidacy. Yeah, I thought that it got to a point. He's learned, he's gone through the mill, he's been in the Gaka and all that, but he came to power and there were 2-3 decisions he took and I knew that it won't go well. Yeah,
Which are some of them?
Well, I'm sure you are aware that coaches in Ghana, apart from the Black Stars, the coaches who train footballers actually are not paid regular monthly salary. So if you want to get a better under 17, you should get a coach who is paid so that they don't come and influence him to pick a wrong player. The first decision they took that actually sent me off was that the executive committee members of the GFA and the president of the GFA, they are going to be paid monthly salaries. They are the board members. The president is the board chairman. Board members of no corporate organization gets paid monthly salary. The GFA is a company limited by guarantee. So they are supposed to work. Their object is to promote a certain cause. So they agree that we are joining this. We are not taking salary. Then they said they will pay themselves salary at the end of every month, whether they attend meetings. Board members only take allowance when they attend meetings. GFA board members get paid a month. President get paid the first time. They have forgotten the objects of what they are doing. The coaches who train are not paid. Some of them go 2 years without salary.
Really?
You can't do this and expect results. You have to be told the truth that if I were the FA president, I will first seek to pay the coaches so that they dedicate their time. It's a full-time job. GFA Executive Council is not a full-time job. Coaching is a full-time job. So invest in them. But you pay yourself. You set a salary tag. There are players in the Ghana League who get paid 900 cedis a month. And you can't run an association when you prioritize leadership than the important people. That was one of the decisions they took. And I knew that things will go down south. Yeah. And the appointment of people in position was not right.
I'm thinking you can judge the results of, see the results of what they're doing by the performance.
Yeah.
And so when the performance is going down, you would think that will just trigger somebody to say, no, I don't like the direction. Let's change things. Why are they watching it go down comfortably?
So it's the GFA is a subset of the country. It's a component. Do people think that Ghana is going down? So we have to.
Yeah,
when you are benefiting, you don't care.
Yeah.
When you are benefiting, all this sounds like cacophony. Like why KSM and why are they making noise?
Yes.
Because you are benefiting.
Yeah, I hear it all the time.
Those there, you are seeing the performance. It is you that the performance matter to you. It doesn't matter to them. The compensation for them when we go down is bigger. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Show some love, man. My man, Saddick. Oh man, this is just amazing, and I think I should be hosting more sports people to educate me, you know, because
you want to start playing?
Sorry?
You want to start playing?
No, not to play. Not to play. Talk to you people.
Of course.
Who are the authorities to educate me?
we are still not authorities. I believe that they are very competent people in sports who have been pushed behind. Yes, I think.
Take us to, let's do some gossip. Take us to is it the changing room they call it? What happens there? Give me some changing room gossip.
Well, I am not a footballer, but I hear stories and I speak to them. So when the footballers are playing, normally they don't want to get close to me because the managers who see that you are close to this guy, no, this guy doesn't want us. So I have always been on the other side, but the players will come and tell you what happened because when they want the truth, they say, everybody says I should speak to you, this is going on.
I
said, no, when you started, you didn't come to us, but a lot of things happened. But for instance, the Sudan match, we saw a lot of issues with Jordan Ayew complaining. The complaints were that he thinks that Otuado picks on him. I have not said this anywhere. Yeah, I think the last time I cut shots, so the complaints were that the coach normally takes him off when he wants to make a substitution, which are some of the things that footballers always say.
So has he personalized it? That is a personal thing?
That's why he thinks that anytime there is a substitution, he's the first one. And he thinks that the formation that the coach is playing, he has complained to the coach that it's not helping. You want to put this player here. I don't want to mention names, but you want to put this player here. It's not helping. You are trying to fix things, and this is not going well. They complain like this is what they have to do as footballers. And one of the most heartbreaking things I ever heard from the national team was the AFCON 2024 we played in Cote d'Ivoire. The night before, I was in Cote d'Ivoire. So I was chatting with one of the players and he told me, our last game against Mozambique, Charlie, I asked him, what's happening tomorrow? Charlie, if we know, we want to stay. And he said, oh, the camp doesn't look like we will win. The player told me, I still have excerpts of the chats.
It doesn't look like they will win?
He's seen the players. He doesn't think. Some of them want to go. So when you are eliminated, that same night, you leave the camp and go to your club. And he was telling me some of the players have packed. That is very serious. It hits me and I thought he was joking. So when we play the 2-2, you may not see it on the field, but their posture, the players can read from the dressing room and the camp before that they will win or not. And I think lack of discipline has become very, very cardinal to our decline. So the players discuss among themselves. Some of them don't want to play. Truly, some of them, they are key players who don't want to play.
For what reason?
I don't know, but they find that the team is toxic. That is the blanket reason. That there are too many toxic situations around the team. So you see them, Sunday they are playing for West Ham, they are playing for Arsenal, they are playing for Atletico Bilbao, they are playing for their club, they are winning. They come to Black Stars the following Sunday and they behave like they have never touched football before. You can't say we don't have the talent, but there's a toxic environment that we need to date.
What makes the environment so toxic? What are the things happening there?
It's administrative. I think it's administrative. When I speak to the players, ACN's group, Sameko Force group, and they talk to you about the eagerness to come to camp. When they invite you and your colleagues in the club, they know you are going to play for Ghana. Charlie, Ghana is a big football country. When you make your way into Ghana's 30-man squad, it means that you are a good footballer. But now players don't want to. So it's managerial. We need
so they are not enthusiastic about going?
You can see from their posture on the field. You can clearly see. I don't need to say it, but anybody who is a keen follower of football will tell you. Michael Essien shared an anecdote some weeks ago that he and Sule Muntari, they have stayed together since they were 20 or 15. So Muntari knows his body language. So when there is a free kick, the coach doesn't need to come and tell them. He will just wink. When he winks, Muntari knows where he's going because they've been staying in the same room from Winneba to Europe for 20 years or 10 years. But this current crop of players, some of them have never played, 90% of them have never played at any level before. So the first time you are seeing your colleague footballer, KSM, the central defender, is on the day you are meeting for training, which is 2 days to a game. But in football, you need to discuss. There should be telepathy. So you can wink to your producer, he knows what you want to do. That is the kind of organization we lack now. The players don't know themselves. You should be eager to come because you are coming to meet your friend.
Yeah.
We don't have that now. And we need to start, and the managers need to get involved deeply. Just put money aside.
Are they aware? Or it's...
Even if you are not aware, the results should make you aware. The results should tell you that something is amiss. I'm sure that journalists should not tell you.
Yeah.
The results, the graph is going down, down, down. So you should know something is wrong. But the footballers, majority, like key ones, they are getting apathetic. If our key footballers don't want to play for us, there's a problem. It's not from me. I know. It's from those who should be responsible. Even if it's not from them, it's their duty to fix. Yes.
What about you journalists that are with the teams and you go back and forth? What are some of the problems that come up? I know there are some journalists like you who will tell it like it is and maybe may not be the most favorite when it comes to certain things. What are some of the things you go through and how do you cope with them?
Well, I have never been a favorite. I have never been a favorite. I'm only friends with majority of the footballers I have as friends are the ones who have retired. So when they retire, then they come to know that everything you were saying was true, but we could not associate with you.
I see.
So a lot of them who have retired say, Charlie, if they had listened to these things earlier.
Wow. Before I let you go, you have to talk to me about what happened with the Save Ghana Football? Or something about it. Yeah.
February 2024, after the AFCON. Before the AFCON, I sounded a call that we may exit in the group stage again. If we do, we have to come home and fix our problems because we are getting lower. And we got eliminated. So myself, a group of other journalists and newscasters, we are a group, lawyers. Then we said we would do Save Ghana Football. We did a massive demonstration. We outlined some of the things that needs to be done. As a journalist, I sit here and say I've done my part. I've written, I've spoken, I've sent proposals. After the Save Ghana Football, we presented a petition to Parliament. Parliament invited us only after the Black Stars had failed. The national team was not getting a stadium to train. When everything was done, Parliament invited us that now your proposal you sent 7 months ago, let's come and let's see through. Wow. I went there, saw an oath. Parliament interrogated me. I put forth the proposal was in bullets. I explained like I'm doing here what we need to do. Some of them were marveled. Some of them, so these are things that we need to do. I mentioned what I could. So I have gone beyond my studio and newspaper and online to go into Parliament to try and change things. I think I have done my part, and you have. Yeah, I have done my country the good that I can. It is with Parliament now. They say the report will come out. We have done our part.
Wow.
So we will save Ghana football.
Show it some love, man. He says we will save Ghana football. We have to. And what a way to end this interview, man. Yeah, we will save Ghana football.
We have to.
Because it's been there.
It's been there.
It's been there.
The best.
And we can't watch this pitiful, sad decline.
Yeah, it's done already. We just need to admit it. We have declined already. There is no low that we can get again. Wow. We need to come together, authorities, ministers, everybody. I am ever available to help, not in any role or capacity, but just as a help.
Show of love, man. That has been fantastic. Saddick, that I promise I'll find out the Obama something is it a...
Yeah. Sports Obama, that's what they 2006 to 07. I will be on radio, there's presentation style.
Okay.
I was in Sudan then. And that was when Barack Obama was campaigning as a candidate.
So that's when you got the name.
So they will call and say, this guy, no, Obama was campaigning on the change mantra.
Yes.
Before he became president, though, he was a candidate then. No, even before he won the candidate.
During the Yes I Can
Yes,
era.
Yes I Can. So before he won the candidacy, he was changing on the campaigning on the change mantra. So people will call into the radio and say, your presentation and kind of sports style, you are bringing change to sports. We call you Sports Obama.
Oh, really?
Then it starts.
And that's how you got it?
That's how.
Show some love for the Sports Obama, man. Oh, wow.
Yes. Yes,
Congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
It's been an amazing show.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad I got a chance to sit down with you. And I'm looking forward to doing it again.
It's a pleasure.
Soon, man.
I would want to stay in the studio if you want me to stay here for the next one.
We'll get you back.
No problem.
All right.
I'm so elated to be here. To meet the KSM himself.
Yeah. It's good to meet you too,
Good
man.
to meet you.
They don't call you Obama for nothing, man. One more time. And I think we come back next week. KSM signing off as I always do since Obama was a little boy. I always sign up the same way. We are out of here.
The KSM Show.